Gull identification is a puzzle. Black, gray, and white feathers create a bewildering mix of patterns that change with age and season. Identifying gulls can be frustrating, even for experts. Do you know, some experienced birders say they don't do gulls? Welcome. My name is Greg, and I've been watching birds for over 50 years. Gulls can be a real challenge, even for experienced birders. In fact, just the other day, I saw some gulls at a distance and I couldn't tell whether they are ring-billed or not until I got closer. By the end of this video, you'll be able to take this jumble of puzzle pieces that is Gull ID and put together the clues to recognize ring-billed gulls in any flock. Look for a gull with yellow legs and a yellow bill with a sharp black ring near the tip. This is a quick and easy way to identify a ring-billed gull. This ID tip is key for separating ring-billed gulls from other gulls. But remember, this field mark only works on adult gulls. Gulls go through several plumage changes over several years before they become adults. Young gulls of many species have pale bills with dark tips that can look like a ring and cause confusion. So next, we'll quickly eliminate a few look-alike gulls that might cause confusion. Then we'll look at more ID tips that will separate ring-billed gull from California gull, the most similar species. After that, we'll listen to the calls of ring-billed gulls. Finally, we'll look at their distribution, habitat, and seasonal status to know where and when to expect ring-billed gulls in your area. Before we get started, here's a bonus tip for you. If you see a gull with an all-white tail, you're looking at an adult. Young gulls have dark markings or bands on their tails, so spotting a clean white tail is a quick way to confirm you've found a fully mature bird. Start with adult gulls. Learn them first, then work toward immature gulls. Here's another tip. If you're just starting out, try watching gulls between October and February. During these months, most gulls in the northern hemisphere are in a stable winter plumage and will more closely match the illustrations in your field guide. This makes identification much easier, since you won't have to worry about confusing molting, faded, and worn birds. Herring gull is a classic look-alike, especially in mixed winter flocks. As adults, and showing the all-white tail, both herring and ring-billed gulls have pale gray backs and pale eyes. Herring gull stands out for its much larger, bulkier build, heavier bill, and pink legs. The bill of an adult herring gull is yellow with a red spot on the lower mandible, never a black ring. Both species show streaking on the head and neck, but it's stronger on the herring. Adult ring-billed gulls are smaller and more slender, with a shorter, slimmer yellow bill that has a sharp black ring near the tip. Their legs are yellow, and their head is usually cleaner in winter, with only limited streaking on the crown and hind neck. The classic black ring on the bill is the quickest and easiest field mark for adults. Immature herring gulls are much larger than young ring-bills and keep an all-dark tail through their second year. In their third year, herring gulls show a messy, wide black band on a pale bill, which can look similar to an immature ring-billed gull. In these cases, rely on the pink legs of herring gulls to tell them apart. Young ring-billed gulls are smaller and more daintily built, with pinkish legs as juveniles that quickly turn yellow. In the first year, they have a variable width tail band. By their second year, their tail is mostly white with only a few black tips. The bill starts all black as a juvenile in fall, but becomes pink with a black tip in the first winter, and the distinctive black ring develops as they approach adulthood. Short-billed gull is another confusion species in the West and Alaska. This gull recently had a name change, so you might find it in your field guide as mew gull. Adult short-billed gulls are smaller and more delicate than ring-billed gulls. The dark eye and round head give a gentle expression compared to the pale-eyed ring-billed. They have greenish or yellow legs and a thinner bill that lacks the bold black ring seen on ring-billed gulls. Their hind head and shoulders are heavily washed with dark streaks in winter. Young short-billed gulls have greenish or flesh-colored legs and dark eyes. Their bill is dull pink with a black tip in the first year, gradually becoming yellow as they age. In their first fall and winter, the tail is all dark. By the second year, it shows a thin, dark band. They show heavy streaking on the hind neck. By the second year, the adult-like back and wing coverts already show a much darker shade of gray than the silvery gray of ring-billed gull. Here's a tip for experts. Juvenile and first winter short-billed and ring-billed gulls are the hardest plumage to tell apart. However, the shape of the wing covert feathers provides a reliable way to separate them. On short-billed gulls, the pattern at the tips of the wing coverts is rounded. In contrast, ring-billed gulls show dark points at the tips of their wing coverts. Look closely at this subtle feather detail for confident identification. California gull is the species most often mistaken for ring-billed gull. Here's how to tell them apart at a glance. Adult California gull is slightly larger and more robust than ring-billed, with a longer bill and a barrel-chested look. The legs are yellow or yellow-green in adults. The bill shows both a red and black spot near the tip. The eye is brown and the mantle is slightly darker gray than ring-billed. In winter, California gull's head and hind neck show a heavier dark wash. The adult ring-billed gull is medium-sized and slender, with a more petite bill. The bill is yellow with a sharp, complete black ring near the tip. The legs are bright yellow. The eye is pale yellow and the mantle is a paler gray. In winter, ring-billed shows light streaking, mainly on the crown and hind neck. First-year California gulls have pink legs, which become bluish-green in the second year before turning yellow-green as adults. The bill is black in juveniles and then becomes pinkish with a black tip, fairly similar to the same-age ring-billed gull, before progressing to yellow in adults. The tail remains all dark through the second year. As the adult-like back and wing coverts molt in, they are noticeably darker gray than those of ring-billed. The eye is always dark. First-year ring-billed gulls have pink legs, which become yellowish by the second year. The bill is black in juveniles, then becomes pink with a black tip, and develops a black ring as they mature. The eye is dark in the first year and yellow by the second year. The tail shows a variable dark band in the first year with only a few black tips in the second. As gray back feathers molt in, they are much paler gray than in California gull. The calls of ring-billed gull are typical of medium-sized gulls, a nasal rising and falling series that sounds like laughter to some. Kia, kia, kia. Ring-billed gulls breed across southern Canada and the northern United States, mainly around lakes and rivers. In winter, they are found throughout most of the United States and into Mexico, often gathering in large flocks. This gull is common near water, landfills, and parking lots, but more likely than other gulls to be seen in open fields and pastures in winter. Some younger, non-breeding birds may remain year-round in the winter range. Do you remember the ID marks of ring-billed gull? The medium size, the yellow bill with the black ring, the yellow legs, the yellow eyes, and the pale gray mantle. You can do this. With practice, you'll be picking out ring-billed gulls from any winter flock. Learning to identify a gull's age makes identifying any gull more easy. Watch this video on aging gulls and take your gull identification to the next level.